So Antonio, could you share with me your thoughts from this special Indigenous Women's Forum that you've just attended?
Thank you. My initial impression is one of hope, one of optimism, because I have seen women from around the planet, from many cultures, including the Latin American indigenous women, representing in this special session of experts to deal with the violence against women and girls in the indigenous context. What saddens me in that context is that the Lenca women were not represented here, and there are many reasons why. There is a lot of violence happening in the Lenca countries, which is Honduras and El Salvador. Often there are visa issues, they don't have the time or the resources to make it. It's a lesson that we learn, and we hope that working with the Republic of El Salvador and Honduras, we might be able in the next forum to be able to have the women from our ethnic groups represented in this forum too.
And what has your response been from El Salvador and Honduras, the existing states that the Lenca Nation inhabit?
We have a very cordial exchange with the plenipotentiaries, the representatives of the republics of El Salvador and Honduras present in the forum, in the room. They have been trying to juggle with their agenda because they have multiple agendas going on as a state in the UN. But we've been able to begin conversations and to open our dialogue and inform them of what we are doing and our intentions and desires as a culture, and also as people that occupies the regions of the three republics, including the Pacific of Nicaragua. I have stated part of our agenda as a chief of the Lencas is my role to do so, and I have a very friendly response from the representation of the Republic of El Salvador, and a very, very kind response from Honduras. So I want to congratulate those two republics for being agreeable and friendly towards our dialogue. I think as leaders, that's our role. Our role is to silence the guns and to begin dialogues interculturally, and as well as beyond ideologies. And I think that has been an example today at the last day of this forum. I invite now to the individual governments in those republics to engage in the agenda that is coming up for the next decade, where the Lenca House and its authorities is going to be dealing directly with each of the governments.
And so, based on the meetings, what are your hopes moving forward?
My hope is that these conversations under the umbrella of the United Nations context of women, indigenous women's priorities, and against the violence of the indigenous women, will further reinforce the principles of cultures such as ours. The Lencas is a matriarchal system and has been for thousands of years. And we believe there are a lot of attitudes of macho and patriarchal, condescending, top-down, male-dominated, male-centric structures and philosophies, religions and ideologies. They have to go. Their time is up. And I think we in the tribal governments as leaders in the communities, whether we like it or not, we need to start talking about this. Men do not have the right to hurt women under any circumstance. And I think as authorities we need to actually state it clearly. The violence against women, as reinstated and repeated by this forum today at the United Nations, is something we have been asking to be debated. I saw the victims of war when I was growing up. I know what the armed forces and the guerrillas did to our women in our villages. I know what my sisters have gone through, my nieces, aunties, many women. I know what happened to them. It's not that I have read it in a book or research. I know what happened to them. And they need to have a voice to denounce what happened to them. We need to respect them and return the place that belongs to them, which is the place of leadership. So I'm going to take the message that comes out of this forum, and I'm going to appropriately give it back to the women of the three countries. And I have asked and I know the republics are going to do it as well. So together we might be able to reinforce the values of respect towards the genders, particularly women, because they have been decimated their power by the introduction of a patriarchal, male-dominated faith, the Catholic faith and the Christian church, which is very much male, and has exploited these ideological tools to dismantle the leadership of women, as well as the armed forces made of men, which have only used the women as a sexual objects to be manipulated, seduced, coerced, and destroyed during the wars, because sex then has, in the civil wars of Guatemala, El Salvador, and other uprisings in Central America, the armed forces, be from the left or the right, have used sex as a weapon of war and torture. So my hope is that this dialogue is the beginning of empowerment of our women, and that our women, the Lenca women of the many ethnic groups, will be here next time, rather than me as a chief of tribe, because it's their voice, it's their concerns, it's their suffering, and it's their regaining of the power that we need to encourage so that they can own it and enact it and embody it.